Hello ladies and gentlemen, Safehouse here, today doing something a little bit different. I'll be showing some gameplay and doing a review of Magic 2014, Duels of the Planeswalkers and its expansion. It's pretty much the same, it just gets some extra bosses in the expansion, but anyway, this game you grab off Steam, it's only about $10 I believe, so it's a bit of a bargain, especially if you are looking at getting into Magic the Gathering, which is a card game that's been around for quite a while now. And I've got a mate that plays, and he eventually got me convinced to get into it and recommended this as a starting point, and it really is a great way to learn the game. As you can see, it looks really nice, it's structured really nice, it's really good for beginners really. It's got great tutorial and stuff at the beginning, teaches you the basics of the game. The main issue with it is that you can't build your own deck from scratch. You can customize your decks to a certain extent. By playing the deck you get extra cards and you can chop and change the cards that are already in that deck. You want to keep the cards as close to 60 as possible. So you're going to get those extra cards, you customize a little bit, but you can't just build your own deck from scratch using whatever cards you want. As you see, you can zoom in on cards, see what they do as I'm doing throughout the game. This is the final boss from the expansion. I actually found the expansion a little bit too easy. It's probably bit of a downside, maybe because I use this deck, which is my favourite one. The name escapes me right now, but it's the second white that you get. You actually get it from the original game, but it's very strong. So maybe I should have used a different deck just to make it a little bit more challenging, a little bit more interesting. You won't have that problem in the initial game though. You will run into some bosses that you will find incredibly hard. It just makes it so much more fun when you've got a real challenge it takes many attempts to get down. Magic 2014 Duels of the Planeswalkers also has an online mode where you get on and you can actually verse other players using these decks that you get from completing your campaign, getting down bosses. So you can customize them as you want, as I mentioned before, and then you can fight people with the deck and test it out against them. So it actually is pretty fun in that way. If you want to fully customize your decks and start from scratch, you can actually go to Magic the Gathering Online. I'll chuck a link down in the description for that. But I tried it out and it works out a lot more expensive than this game that you're going to get off Steam, and the layout is just nowhere near as good. So if you're only starting out, definitely recommend this, and if you want to continue on, I recommend getting the real cards and actually going down and playing Magic with other people, against other people, and with your friends. It's actually a really fun game, as I am learning. Can be a lot to get your head around because there's a lot of cards and a lot of different formats and whatever, but just start from the start. Don't get overwhelmed by it and just enjoy it, because it really is a fun game. I was really hesitant to get into it to begin with because I thought it was a bit nerdy and all that, but once I did get into it, it really is enjoyable. So definitely recommend it. Even if you don't want to get into the card game or whatever, just grab this game on Steam. It's cheap. We spend a lot of time on it. I have spent quite a lot of time. Even once you finish the campaign, there's extra challenges to do, there's revenge to do, and you got the expansion as well, and then you've got multiplayer. I pretty much just play multiplayer most of the time now. So if you like card games as a kid, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and that, this is going to be pretty enjoyable for you, I think. This is obviously directed as a bit of an older crowd, or much older crowd. Pretty much 16 and up is pretty much recommended sort of age, just because it is quite a difficult game to play. Obviously this makes it a lot easier for you. It highlights the cards that you can play, and yeah, it just makes it a lot easier. So I'll just give you a bit of a rundown on what's actually going on the screen now. It's going to take a long time to actually get all the basics and stuff down, but I'll just describe the basics of the game so you get a general idea and maybe a bit more of an idea of if you want to purchase the game or not. So there are 5 colours in the game: black, white, red, green and blue. Every colour has its strength and weaknesses. Some colours counter other colours to an extent, not hugely. You can still win games even if it is a counter very easily. You can also have multiple colours in a deck. Most decks are, I won't say most, but a lot of decks have multiple colours in them. So as you see, me and this guy here, we both have monocolored decks, so that's not an issue. Now the game is based around playing creatures and spells to get your opponent's life down to 0. So you can see on our little pictures there of both of us, we've got our life there. I am on 12, he is on 9 at this current stage. In order to play creatures and spells, you need to get out the mana of Magic the Gathering, which is known as land. In this case, I'm playing white, so my land is white. It is these plains with the little star, sun looking thing on them. The more you have, the more you can play. Every card has a mana cost, which is up in the top right corner. If you have enough out in the field to pay for that cost, you can play that card onto the field. Every card has its own abilities and whatever, we won't go through that too much. Both players start with 7 cards. Whoever goes first doesn't get to draw a card, but whoever goes second does draw a card on their first turn. It's kind of a way to balance up whoever's going first and whoever's going second a little bit. So generally you're going to want to play first in most situations, unless you really need that extra card you feel. Also, you can mulligan your hand. You start with 7. If you mulligan, it means you get rid of your hand because you don't want it, and you draw 6 cards next time around, and you can do that for as much as you want. But I hope this helped you make a decision whether you wanted the game or not, guys, and good luck out there. Thank you very much for watching, and if this video helped you out or you just enjoyed it, please smack that like button, or you can also subscribe to my channel for more videos similar to this one. Thanks, guys.